With its tranquil lakes, rolling hills and postcard-perfect towns, the Finger Lakes region in upstate New York is nothing short of breathtaking. And it's this landscape that shapes some of the most distinctive and celebrated wineries in the country. At the heart of it all is Living Roots Winery, founded by husband and wife Justine and Colleen. With wineries in both Australia and upstate New York, Living Roots merges old world traditions with a fresh modern approach. Wow, what an incredible vineyard. I hear an Aussie accent, an American accent. How did this come about?
Yeah, so we met in Australia now, 11 years ago? So I went across to work a vintage at Hardy's in McLarenville, which, not knowing at the time, was started by Seb's great-great-great-grandfather back in 1853. Small industry, you know, our paths crossed pretty quickly and then sort of kept bumping into each other. And then my 4-month harvest turned into all of this, I guess.
Wow. And Seb, 2 different climates. South Australian climate is pretty different to the Finger Lakes climate. The wine making style, very different?
Definitely. I mean, we've got more sparklings and whites around here, and the sparklings are one thing that I was really drawn to. I'm really interested in some of the hybrid wines, which are really good for sustainability. And then in Australia, more of the reds and really the vibrant sort of spicy styles that I love.
It is so beautiful here. I just think that if I'm travelling in New York, this is a must. It's quite a special place to work.
Thank you. We really, in building and designing the tasting room, we wanted it to feel really cozy and welcoming all times of year, because the Finger Lakes, people think of it really as a summer or maybe autumn destination. I mean, the foliage in the fall is amazing, but we wanted to still draw people in, and so nothing makes me happier than seeing people playing Scrabble in front of the fire with a glass of wine and a cheese board, just really making it feel like you're hanging out at someone's house, I guess.
Yeah. I just love it. And most importantly, the wines are super delicious. What are we drinking here?
This is our Blanc de Blanc, so 100% Chardonnay from 2017.
It's stunning. I've warmed up nicely after that fantastic wine tasting with Justine and Colleen, and I wanted to make them a dish that I think they'll like. Of course, it's going to showcase their stunning wines. So I'm going to play on 2 iconic dishes that you associate with American cuisine: grits and collard greens. So grits is like polenta. So this is the polenta here. Grits is actually a little coarser. So I'm going to use polenta, and I'm going to serve this polenta with some fried seasonal greens with some pork sausages. Super delicious. Now, collard greens, which is usually what you'd get at a barbecue, it's stewed down greens. Now, the collard green is very similar to silverbeet and kale. I don't have the collard green with me today. I've got these other greens that will work a treat. Seasonality on a plate right here in New York. We've got ramps, asparagus, I found some purslane at the market, and this tiny kale. This is going to be so tender. It'll only need a really quick saute. So before I get onto this, we're going to fry off some sausage. So just some pork sausage, really fatty sausage, because you want that fat to come out. So in a pan, a little glug of olive oil, just a small one because the fat is going to come out. And I'm also going to add some butter too. I've taken off the casing of the sausage, and I'm just going to break it up, almost like mini meatballs. You could just use pork mince, but because this has already been seasoned with some salt and pepper, it's perfect for a dish like this. And in fact, some collard greens that you do get here do add bacon to it or a smoked meat. So this is a perfect interpretation. So I'm not going to toss them at all. Just want to let them get quite crispy on one side before I turn it over. They take no time at all to cook. We'll get on with our ramps. This is one of the ingredients I've been drawn to so much because it has such a small window here in spring. It's a cross between the garlic and onion and leek family. You can use the whole lot, and what I'm going to do, if the wind doesn't take it away, I'm just going to roughly chop it. And you can have it raw, you can put it in a salsa verde. I'm just going to fry it off and use it like a leek. And I'm just going to have a little taste of this. So, it's so good. It's sweet, slightly peppery, almost mustardy. It's going to go perfectly with the pork sausage. Chop that up. Some asparagus. The asparagus here are just in abundance. Lovely tops. And then we'll just cut everything else into 2 centimetre pieces. Right, let's have a look at the sausage. Ah, that's what we're after. See how caramelised that is? Caramelisation equals flavour. A knob of butter. I want slight heat in here, so I've got some chilli, just some dried chilli. You could also use fresh for this. And while that's melting away, I'm going to add the ramp and the woodier part of the asparagus. So the stalks go in first, and then the tips I'll add at the very last minute because I don't want to overcook that. All right, let's give that a toss. That's looking good. We can add our kale. I've just given it a wash. That's going to wilt in no time, and because it's so young, it wilts very fast. And some purslane. Tastes very similar to spinach, almost saltier, if that makes sense. Very herbaceous. I love this, so good for you. Our asparagus tips can go in. We'll toss that. The wine can go in next. I mean, this is just delicious to sip on, but also fantastic in this. So a dry Riesling works a treat when it comes to cooking. It's going to give a lovely, almost citrus flavour, and you only need a splash. The rest is mine to have a sip on. I'm going to give that a few more minutes with another knob of butter and just cook that until all of those vegetables have wilted. Then I'm going to get a pot of water on for our polenta. Time to get the polenta on. I'm using some instant polenta. I like to add a splash of milk to the water just to give it an extra creamy flavour. And because this is instant polenta, it takes no time at all to cook, 3 to 5 minutes. I'm going to rein that in. This is where you get your whisk out to just constantly mix this until it's thick and lush. Now, grits will have more of a coarser texture to it, where polenta is much finer, so it's going to be smoother. I'm using polenta to be a little bit different today. All right, this is looking good. I never like a polenta that's too dry, so if it is looking slightly dry, just add a little extra milk or a little more water. Now, this is quite plain now, so we need to boost the flavour. A good handful of parmesan, some butter, and a pinch of salt. And at this stage, we can turn the heat off and then just fold that in. You don't want it to be rapidly boiling when you add that Parmesan cheese because it can tend to cluster and become waxy. You want it to be smooth and glossy, so turn the heat off and it'll just gently melt in with that butter. Oh, look at that. I love polenta. So delicious. Let's plate up. So I've got a lovely share platter here for the 3 of us, and I'm going to spread it out onto the plate. Look at that. See how it folds on itself? That's what we're after. Smooth it out a little more. Our gorgeous spring greens and pork sausage. See how it's still vibrant green? That's what I'm after. Usually with collard greens, they're cooked low and slow for a long time, but I like the idea of just flash frying this so we keep all that vibrancy in the greens. A bit of that pork sausage. And see all these pan juices? That's the best part because it's going to taste like that wine. Drizzle that over the top. To finish it off, some Parmesan, and I'm just going to use a grater just to grate that over the top. Yum. I love this dish. I think it's going to work perfectly with that dry Riesling. Let's see what Sebastian and Colleen think. Well, you two look very cosy here by the fire.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
I've made you a very cosy dish too.
Yeah,
Polenta
beautiful.
and greens, and it was kind of a take on grits and
yeah.
collard greens that you get everywhere here in
Nice.
America.
Can we dig right in?
Go for it. Tell me what you think. Yeah. I love polenta.
So
good.
Creamy.
Seasoned with campfire. Perfect. Love it.
I also added your wine to it.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Down. Tell me about the wine that we're pairing it with.
Well, this is a classic local bone-dry Riesling. Should go nicely, I think.
Yeah, I love that sort of fresh acidity with the creamy, sort of richer polenta. So
Yeah.
really nice pairing.
I love it. Guys, thank you so much. This has been the most amazing, relaxing day here. I've just loved sitting here and admiring all the vines, the view of that lake, I bet you never get sick of it, right?
Yeah,
Pretty special.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. Thank you so much for having me. It's been
Thank
the
you so
best
much
day.
for coming. Can we get a little more of that polenta?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you.